Paramatma Dvayanandaha Sarvabhutasthitopiha Ajnanena Vruto Drashtaha Tathaiva ca Manomalaihi. So yesterday we began discussing about the purpose of life. And to find out what is purpose of life, we need to seek the right source. In technical words, it is called the right means of knowledge. For example, if I ask you, what is the color of this flower? The only way to know this color is through eyes. Any other ways, if I try to find what is the color, I will have wrong knowledge. Correct? By touch, I cannot say it is red. By smell, I cannot say it is red. By taste, I cannot say it is red. Only by seeing, I will be able to know it is red. And in that seeing, in that perception, my eyesight should be clear. So two things are needed. You need to have eyes and my vision should be clear. Only then I will have right knowledge of the color of the flower. In this way, if I want to know what is the purpose of life, or another question had come after yesterday's class, how would I know that God pervades everything? Or God is behind this creation? Who would be able to tell me? As far as this, remember yesterday's examples, right? I had said this is steel, right? Or we had a glass container. You all remember, right? Kurta example, cotton. Remember? Yeah. So we had said, in these cases, we know because somebody has watched that, okay, this was made from steel. Or somebody watched that this was made from cotton. Can anyone watch while the creation is going on or is being created from God? Is it possible? Is somebody standing there watching? No, because then that individual would be part of creation. Right? So it is not possible to have someone physically standing there watching creation as it comes, like space is created, fire is created, air is created, water is created. No individual is watching. There is another way to figure out the source of creation of a thing. Apart from watching it being created or knowing it during creation, there is another way. Any ideas? If we break that thing, where does it go to? What is its end destination? So if we start pulling things apart, what is it that is remaining? So for example, if we have, let's say, this steel container, we start breaking it, what will remain is steel, right? So then we will know, okay, whatever is remaining, wherever it goes back to, that was its origin. For example, if you have a car, right? You throw this car, you get rid of the car. And they start taking every part of the car out. So the tires, they are taken out, and then there is different recycle for them. Steel parts, separate. Glass pieces, separate. So we know what all things constituted this car. Like that, can anyone see where this entire universe gets dissolved into to know where it actually came from? The answer is no. Nobody could be watching the dissolution of this creation. So we cannot be present while it is being created. We cannot be present, we means nobody could be present to watch how it is getting dissolved. And therefore, we will never have a means of knowledge like eyes, which is used to see the flower, or like creation of this mic from steel. We would not know through our eyes or ears that God created this universe or God pervades this universe. And if we do not know through these means, what is the right means of knowledge? That's where we say you use scriptures, because scriptures will tell us that which is not known otherwise. The color of this tablecloth is red. To know that, I don't need scriptures, because obvious, it is known to me through some other means of knowledge. Please try to sit in such a way so that I can see everyone. I cannot see you. So the right means of knowledge, if it is not there, right knowledge will not be there. When we make a statement, God is all pervading, that knowledge itself, we have to verify how I know it or how anyone could reveal this, through which means. Somebody asked me another question. So if I know God is non-dual bliss, right? Yesterday we said God is non-dual bliss. If I know God is non-dual bliss and He is all-pervading, how is it going to make me happy? So I want to know from you now, what do you understand? Why would people try to see God or know the truth? You use the word God, you use the word truth, is the same thing. How do we, or why do we want to know, or why would anyone want to know God? Anyone from here?
If that what you're trying to know is who you are, then it has more implications to your life other than knowing something else. You're saying that's your true nature.
Okay. Good. What we are trying to point out are the effects, if you want to call it. Okay, what is the nature of God that we saw earlier? It is said non-dual bliss, right? If that non-dual bliss is all-pervading, what is your nature and my nature? If it is all-pervading, would it be same or different from God's nature? Same, right? Would I have nature as non-dual bliss and God have nature as non-dual bliss, or there would not be any I, there would be only God? I will repeat. You remember 3 R's? Okay, good.
Can you repeat?
Reception, retention, recollection. If reception is not good, while in the class, you will know things are going all the way above the head. Pay attention. And that's why yesterday she had announced, sleep well. And this session especially, because 11 to 12 time is when all of that sleep is going to come back. Because right after breakfast, you'll be a little bit happy. Then in discussion, also you can be awake because everyone is talking. This is a session when that sleep is going to take revenge to come back. So try to stay alert. Wake yourself up. So yesterday, what we were discussing, if that non-dual bliss alone pervades everything, then there is no other thing. For example, when we say there is cotton and there is kurta, right? You remember that example? Yes. Yes? No?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Cotton and kurta. And then we concluded there are no two things. There is only cotton and no kurta. Right? Like that, when we say there is I and God, and when we realize God is all pervading, that means there is no I. So there is no world, there is no I. What remains is only God. That is what is going to remove the sorrow from life. Everyone is feeling sleepy. Understood? That is the only way we will be free from sorrow. And therefore, we have to seek God, or seeking God would be purpose of life. Therefore, people seek God. So by knowing God as all-pervading and non-dual bliss, I shall know that I as an individual have no separate existence from God or from the world, And therefore, that non-dual bliss alone expresses as everything, which is going to remove my sorrow. In fact, there is no need to have sorrow anymore. That is what is known as seeking God. So the devotees, the acharyas, the jnanis, all of them, they are after God for this reason. You call it seeking the truth, seeking the self, Atman, Brahman, Bhagavan, devotion, everything means this. And because the problem is very, very specific, the question is very specific, the answer also, truly speaking, is very specific. So if we really know, we will go in the right path. Otherwise, we'll be doing lots of things without actually knowing why are we doing all these things. We do prayers, we do bhajans, we go to temples, we go for pilgrimage, we take prasad. So many times, people do fasting, observe so many other vows. So many things we do. But we don't know how all these things fit in. And that's why sometimes people get confused. Just as in everything else in life, we need to have clarity. In spiritual life also, we need to have clarity. In fact, much more clarity on this path. Because we don't go to school really.
$25.
It's not mine, it's Krishna's.
We really don't go to school to study this aspect. How we systematically study math or science or all the other things, spirituality is like okay. And that is why there is more confusion. So try to be very clear as to what are you seeking and why are you seeking. How are we going to get it? There is very perfect solution to this problem you call or this seeking. And we should be clear about it. Okay? And more discussion we will have, but at least we should have a clear idea. So the Vedas, which are actually represented in Bhagavad Gita and the great epics, Ramayana and which was the other epic? Mahabharata. And then in all the Puranas, the same vision is indicated. How to have purposeful life, how to accomplish the real purpose of life. Okay, keep all your cell phones and everything turned off. Somebody else is also here. So are we collecting $25 from each of them?
For the babies,
Yeah, we should.
for the chicken.
So note down 2 names. You have to be honest and just write her the check or give her the cash. Or put it in hundi, whatever. Okay. So, once we know this, then we will be able to have happiness in our life. Now the next stanza says that once this ignorance of where God is gone from our life, we will be happy. So we were ignorant about the fact, ignorant about God. Once the ignorance is gone, we will be happy. But in that, there is one problem. So what is that? Let us read the second stanza. ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञाने नष्टे भाति स्वयं हि सः सत्यमेतत्तथापीह कष्टमेकं च वर्तते. Together. ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञाने नष्टे भाति स्वयं हि सः सत्यमेतत्तथापीह कष्टमेकं च वर्तते. Can anyone read the translation? Nina, can you read the translation?
However, when ignorance is dispelled by knowledge, the Supreme Self shines by itself. Though this fact is true, there is difficulty in grasping it.
So when the ignorance is dispelled by knowledge, the Supreme Self is very evident, very clear, which means we don't have to do anything after removal of ignorance to make the self known. I'll give you an example. Pay attention. Let's say there is sun shining up in the sky, very bright. And suddenly a small cloud comes and covers it. When the cloud comes and covers the sun, what is it actually covering? Is it covering the sun, or is it covering our vision to see the sun? First of all, think it this way. Is it possible to have any cloud which can actually cover the sun? Impossible. Like that, there is no ignorance which can actually cover God or truth. Because if something can cover God, what would that mean? That thing would be bigger than God. Is it possible? No, right? There is no such thing. If anything is bigger than God, then that thing would be God. Because that thing is more powerful now. What is the idea of God? The one who is all-pervading, one who is almighty. If something can cover God, something can overpower God, then that thing would be mighty. Right? If a cloud can cover sun, the cloud is bigger than sun. That means it is not possible to have cloud bigger than sun. That means ignorance is actually not covering God. Then what is it covering? It is covering our understanding. So God is not hidden. In my mind, in my thinking, are you all familiar with this chart? Can you? What about you guys? Can you see?
Yeah.
Can everyone see? Okay, I think it's good enough. In this chart, this Om indicates God. Physical body, mind and intellect. So when we say God is hidden, God is not known, God is covered, what we actually mean is my intellect is covered. God is not covered. For example, if I put my fingers here, okay, and I say the hall is covered, is the hall covered or my eyes covered? My eyes are covered. And therefore, the covering is closer to my eyes than the hall. But it is enough to hide the entire hall. Right? In that way, when it is said God is covered or God is hidden, this word you must have read many times. God is hidden, God is unknown, we are ignorant of God. What it means is our intellect is covered. Covered by lack of right knowledge. And because of that, we don't know what is nature of God, where He is, who He is, how He is. And that's why we always look here, there, where is God? In this example of cloud and the sun, cloud is smaller, sun is bigger. Cloud is closer to us, sun is farther from the cloud. Tell me, who is the cause of the cloud, or what is the cause of the cloud? No, I'm saying the cloud. In the cloud and sun example, for cloud to get formed also, you need sun. Without sun, you cannot have cloud. Like that, without God, even the idea that I don't know God will not be there. Is it getting too serious? After I think this session, slowly we will go to more practical aspects on how to fix the problem. But first we have to understand what is the problem. Therefore, a little bit of analysis. Yeah.
I have a question. In this example, you seem to be claiming that God is something separate from myself in order to experience.
Right.
So, the light of God shines through and ignorance is removed. But that which ignorance is veiling also, if we look at the definition you've given for God, is also God, right? But then, how does it, if it's veiling something that is already...
So until we know that, we have to go on pursuing the truth. When we know that there is nothing other than God, then all the seeking, all pursuits, they end. Until that point, we have to go on working. For example, the moment you know that the cloud, even though it has covered the sun, it is only in our understanding that the sun is covered. Actually, sun is not covered, right? Because you just drive a little bit further and you will be able to see the sun, or you fly and you will be able to see the sun. which means sun is actually not covered. The moment you recognize this, you will not be impatient or feeling that, oh, what happened, sun is lost, somebody took that sun away. No such feeling will be there. Why? Because that understanding is there. So in the same way, the moment we get the understanding that the perceiver, I, and the cloud, which is obstructing the perception, both are nothing but that same truth. So the seeker, the seeking, the covering, everything is nothing but the sought. All worries, anxieties will go away. But until that point, we will worry about it. We will have frustration, disturbance, everything. Here, what is said in the second stanza, so ignorance is dispelled by knowledge, and then the Supreme Self shines by itself. Even though this is the fact, there is one difficulty. There is difficulty in grasping it. What is this difficulty? This difficulty is that the mind is not available to grasp this understanding. For example, yesterday I told you that this is nothing but steel, right? But every time when we look at this, unless and until that idea is deeply rooted in us, that this is steel first and then mic, we will always see this in this order. Steel, mic. But if we are not clear, we will see only mic. Right? So we should make sure that our vision is clear so that we are able to see the essence. So the problem is lack of clear vision, because of which we are not able to grasp the truth. If somebody tells us that you have $25 million in your bank account, and if we say, no, I don't believe it, or if we say, I don't know whether I'll ever get it, and we don't make any attempt, even though that money is there, we will never be able to make use of it. Like that, when it is said God is everywhere and it is non-dual bliss, unless and until we know that, we are able to own that understanding, our problems in life will not go. So just by having remote understanding of something, we will not be able to actually have transformation in our life. You must have seen people who look at cigarette boxes which says, cigarette smoking is injurious and it can cause cancer and this and that, and they just tap on it and start smoking. Having that information has actually not done any good to them. Or knowing that, oh, drugs are bad, you should not take them, they are addictive, they can cause harm. Yeah, I know it, let me have it now. What is the use? That information didn't do any good. In the same way, if somebody says, God is everywhere, it is all non-dual bliss, that information doesn't do me any good if I am not able to apply that in my life. It is just like that sugar added in coffee. It has not become one with my nature, my thinking. Right? And what is the problem? What is it that is creating this distraction or this gap between what I think and what I have to own? That is given in the next stanza. Yavan malanakshiyante. Everyone together, loudly. Yavan malanakshiyante. Manaso raga rupakaha. Tavanna tattva jignasa. Jayate manushe hridi. Together you all chant, I will listen.
Yavan malanakshiyante masoragarupaka tavanna tattva jignasa jayate manushe hridi.
Good. Can you read the translation?
As long as the impurities of the mind, such as attachment, etc., are not weakened or washed away, the desire for knowing the truth does not arise in the human heart.
So in the earlier stanza it was said, even though the truth is very clear and once the ignorance is removed, the knowledge is self-evident, but there is one problem. And what is the problem that is indicated here? The problem is, as long as the impurities of the mind, such as attachment, etc., are not weakened or washed away, the desire for knowing the truth does not arise in the human heart. So earlier what was said as God, now it is said the truth. Now let's think about this. Why would we not have desire to know the truth or God? Or give me some examples, please.
If you're already satisfied, you think you're pretty happy.
Then you would not be interested. Yes.
It's harder to find the truth, so if we're satisfied without it, then we don't want to do the work.
If you want to go the easy way. Okay, that's good. When we say we are satisfied with whatever we have, truly speaking, are we happy with what we have? Yes, no? Maybe we are happy when everything is going well, right? See, when we have a healthy body, when we have enough money to get through our livelihood, when we get to wear clothes that we want, when we want whatever music system we have in our car, we get it, our friends party, our near and dear ones like parents, their health. Why do we want to see God? We don't. True. Correct? When do we start thinking about God? Either we have problems or somebody that we know has problems, and because of their problem, we feel hurt. So ultimately it's we only who has problem. Because somebody else has problem, but if we feel, let them suffer. Then We will not think, oh, who is God, where is He, why do good people suffer, this, that. So normally, in human life cycle, until the age of 30 or so, we don't see many problems. Right? Because health is normally good. Normally. Yeah, sometimes the young generation also, somebody is diagnosed with cancer or somebody commits suicide in high school or college or some car accident, then we really get disturbed. So many times it happens. But otherwise, until 30, everything is okay. Then all relationships problems. Not all the time, but here and there it starts. Job problems, economy going down, recession. No matter how many degrees we accumulate, nobody is ready to hire. Then we start realizing what is this world. And then as aging problems, back problem, headache problem, this problem, that problem, everything comes. Then we say, oh, what is this? Why am I going through this problem? That's when we want to know, is there a way out? Or in every life, I have to go through same thing. And if we ever see our grandparents, my God, all kind of problems, kidney problems, lung problems, digestion problems, sugar problem, diabetes, blood pressure, every now and then to take them to hospital. When we see these things closely, then we realize what is the terrible end of human life. And sometimes we feel, oh, only they will go through this, I will not go through these problems. But the fact is, most of us go through these problems, in one way or the other. And children or grandchildren, they don't have time to look after grandparents. Everyone is busy. At that time, if we think, oh, I should have thought of God more, may I not go through this kind of life again? No option. That is why human beings have the option to seek God early in their life, know Him and become free. Otherwise, when we realize that, oh, I should spend more time in seeking God or doing my spiritual practices, life is over. Body is not fit enough to go to temples or to listen to scriptures or to sit in one posture and do meditation. That is why those who become renunciates, they become at early age. That is the only way. Because you cannot say, I will start at 65 when all my responsibilities are over. At 65, there is no ability. And mind is so tuned. I have to live in a very comfortable place. I have to have my music system. I have to have this, I have to have that. Some discomfort. What is the cause that is pointed out here? The impurities of the mind, such as attachment, etc. What do you, first of all, let's try to list some of the things. Attachment, etc. So what are the other things? Since it is not even here, it's a good opportunity. Yes? Jealousy, pride, dishonesty, greed, anger,
lie,
lust. These are all impurities. And all of them, they have ignorance as their cause. We are not going to analyze this aspect right now, but let us try to think this. What is attachment? Since it is very clearly given here, let's think about this attachment. What would you consider as attachment? Associating yourself with something because of emotions. That's good. Longing for specific object. Not being completely content when you don't have that.
Holding on to like materialistic object. And you keep wanting more. You get something.
So the greed, it goes into X+1 syndrome.
I got X now, why?
Yeah.
I mean, attachment takes on the nature of like addiction.
Attachment leading to addiction. I must have that, yes.
Can you have attachment for family members, friends, so on? Because I'm attached to my mom, and
True, and that's natural because we have been close and they brought us up. That attachment can have a lot of love with understanding. Right? So that is not clear sign of attachment. It's more like you love your mom, but you have understanding that there is going to be separation, whether we like it or not. And they also have to understand that there is going to be separation. Right? So when that understanding is there, in the light of this understanding, attachment will not stay. And therefore, if there is separation, you will not panic. Let us say you seek some object, and if that object is taken away from you, let's say in this class, somebody has some BlackBerry or something, and they are playing with it. Okay? And I find out, and I take that away. Now that person will be so frustrated, so angry. Why he took this away? I will not use it. That anger, that frustration is going to cause all the disturbance. And if somebody says, you are blissful self, forget about that. I am not blissful right now. For all that, whatever we say, nobody is going to hear. Right? This is the fact. If you want to do something, and let's say you have opposition from your family, and they say, no, you are not doing it. So I am going to do it, whether you like it or not. This is the attachment if we did not sit down and think through. Why am I single track in this? Right? So attachment is something we ourselves will have to figure out what is it that makes me weak. Attachment also means that which creates weakness in us. See, in politics, if there are two parties, there is another candidate, let's say, from the same constituency. they would try to find out what is the weakness of this individual. If money is weakness, they will try to bribe. If power is weakness, they will try to give him some kind of power. If pleasure is the weakness of that person, they will provide some pleasure. And they will see how we can defeat him. Right? Which means that person has attachment for those things, which will become his or her weakness. Simple thing, some sweet, right? If we have great craving for it, if we are attached, when that comes, we forget everything. And if it is taken away, we are ready to shout, scream, fight, everything. That is attachment. That is called impurity. This is just one example. Like that, lust, greed, passion, jealousy, lie, dishonesty, everything. As long as they are there, what is said here, tattva jignasa na jayate. So long, an individual will never make sincere attempt to know the truth. It's not that they have to completely go in order for an individual to seek the truth. But at least they have to go down to some extent for an individual to become a committed seeker. Right? So we ourselves, in this camp itself, you find out, why have I come here? Of course, we all want to have fun. You remember yesterday, I said, if we want to have fun, what should we do? Be serious. Because otherwise, that fun idea itself will not stay. We will not know what is that we are looking for. And even if this thought comes that no, I should seek the truth, I should go beyond this life of transmigration so that I do not have the problems of old age, death, etc. You know, that's what Buddha thought. You all know the story of Buddha, right? I don't think everyone knows. His name was Siddhartha and he was prince. And his father had shown his birth chart to astrologer. And the astrologer had said, this son of yours, either he will be great king or great renunciate. And the king said, I don't want him to become renunciate. You know, after a long time I have got this son. So he said, no old person will come anywhere near my son. Nobody with any disease, no poor person, no individual with sorrow would ever come near my son. And of course they had all the wealth, so he could be protected. Constantly there will be dance program, music program, all fun entertainment and learning, etc. One day he told his charioteer, he said, I want to go out and see this city. Come. The charioteer said, we have king's orders, we cannot take you out. He said, nothing doing, we are going. He went out and he saw a person walking with a stick, body completely bent. And he said, what is this? This is old age. Everyone has it, yes. I will also have it, yeah. Then they saw somebody's death procession. So what is this? What are they carrying? A dead body. What is death? A final destination. I will also have it. Yes. He saw some poor people. Then he saw one sannyasi with no other possession, quiet and happy. He said, what is this person? Why is he wearing these kind of clothes? He is a renunciate. With no possession, he is happy. Yes. That is what I want to see. He came back, made up his mind. And he became world famous. So it's not that all impurities have to go in order to begin seeking, but that seeking will become serious only when to some extent the impurities have gone. So just think over this. I'll give you 2 questions. I have 3 questions actually. You write down, if you get time you think. Discuss the nature of vasanas. Vasanas is this we. Next question. What is desire for truth? How would you put it in practical terms? What is desire for truth? How would you put it in practical terms? Practical terms means, how would you explain this to a common man? And I have one more question, but actually that belongs to the next stanza. So, anyway, you write down, what is abidance in the self? What is abidance in the self? But it belongs to stanza 4, which we have not covered. So, okay, so now you have your reflections and journal time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.